Hi guys, so I did my assessment on the Beck Depression Inventory. It was published in 1996, um, and its original authors were Beck, Brown, and Steer. There was an original Beck Depression Inventory that was made by the authors that I had mentioned, and then there was a replacement of the original one, and they called it the BDIIA. And then there was a second revision, which was the most recent one, and they called it the BDI2. Um, and a little bit of a description of this assessment is basically it's given to anyone who's 13 and up, and it's used to specifically instrument the measure and the severity of depression. So basically, you're measuring the severity of the person who was or may have been referred by a person who thought they may have had depression. So this is a way to look and measure the severity of their depression that they might be suffering from. So they may or may not even have depression, depending on the results of this Beck Depression Inventory. There's a 4-point scale for each item, and there's a total of 21 items. The test itself takes about 5 to 10 minutes to complete, and a little bit about validity. It's positively related to the scale for suicide ideation, as well as the Beck Helplessness Scale, and also the Hamilton Psychiatric Rating Scale for depression and the Hamilton Rating Scale for anxiety. It was said in one of the articles that I used in my paper that depression and anxiety do tend to fall together, and making them very similar to each other in terms of severity and the ratings for the Beck Depression Inventory. A little bit about reliability. According to the manual, its coefficient is 0.92 for outpatient population, and 2 studies that were done, one college students and the other inpatients of psychiatric places, were both found to surpass the coefficient alpha, which was 0.93, I believe. So it said that the Beck Depression Inventory is found to be extremely reliable, and they still use it today. So for costs, a whole packet with booklet and answer sheets is roughly $53. So not too bad. The manual costs by itself $25.50, and with the record forms it's $27.50. And if you want to add 100 forms instead of the 25, you can buy it for $104.50. And it can also be ordered in Spanish. Not really sure if the manual can be ordered in Spanish, but I do know that the record forms can be purchased in Spanish. So some multicultural considerations that I found doing this project on the Beck Depression Inventory was that even though there were the Beck Depression Inventories given to different people of different cultures and races and from different populations, besides just Caucasian white, which is primarily the ones that they usually choose for these tests, it was found that there was no true sign of bias within the BDI assessment, which is great because it just goes to show you that it can be given to anybody who may be suffering from depression, or maybe seeing a therapist or think they have it, and then they're given this Beck Depression Inventory, and then they find out that they have severe depression. So it is great for anyone of all, for ages 13 and up, of course, so adolescents as well as adults. But it is important to make sure that this is given across culturally, because anxiety and depression can be found anywhere. So that being said, the Beck Depression Inventory I completely recommend using as a clinician or a physician, or even recommending someone to take this assessment. It can be given orally, so maybe for those people who can't see, taking the test and writing it down. It could be self-administered, so you can probably buy this stuff on your own and do it yourself. But it is primarily given by clinicians in a therapy, in more of a therapeutic environment, as well as those who may be in psychiatric locations, hospitals, and such like that. So that is it. Thank you for watching this about the assessment. I chose Beck Depression Inventory.